Hey, what's up, folks? How y'all doing? Of course, it's me once again. And I figured since I pretty much did a rant on a latest Jason Statham film I didn't care that much about, and then after that I talked about a time waster for a film which Jet Li did, which had some disappointing qualities to it. I figured I might as well talk about a film that everybody hates. But I watched it again, and I watched it a bunch of times, and I cannot hate this film. I know a good friend of mine hates it, along with a lot of people, and someone also, which I learned about, hates this film as well. And of course, I'll give that away in this review. That is the 2007 action revenge film, War. It stars Jason Statham and Jet Li. Now, this movie here, I'm gonna put it back here so I don't have to hold the disc that much around. Um, Came out in September of 2007. Now, this was directed by first-time director Philip Atwell, who, believe it or not, this was his first big feature movie. Because before this, he had directed two little TV episodes of the Shield TV series, which I don't watch. And he's done a lot of video documentaries on Eminem, 50 Cent, and all that stuff. So I guess he's one of these hip hop directors who's trying to break out. But sad to say, he would never do that. And the writers for this film, put that over here. The writers for this film, I have IMDb in front of me right here. Okay. Now the writers, Lee Anthony Smith and Gregory G. Bradley, who they do show up at the commentary on one track of the DVD I got. And you have also another commentary, separate one with the director. Now, from what I understand, the writers, let me see if they've done anything before this. Okay. I guess, did they do anything? Well, they did something called Ghost Story. And that's basically a short movie and hit. So they didn't, if one of them did that, Lee Anthony Smith. Now, the guy, Gregory J. Bradley, what did he write? Basically the same stuff. So I guess these guys worked together. So there were new writers. And they wanted to make one film, which they had these two guys in mind, Jet Li and Jason Statham. Early on in the millennium, Statham was starting out, and he had worked in this little movie with Jet Li called The One, which I have a lot of fun with, and everything like that. And there was a scene that was filmed, but never shown. I don't know if it was filmed. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe it was filmed or not. It was Jason Statham has a little fight scene with Jet Li, but it was cut out of the film. So I guess Jed, along with Corey Ewan, who was the choreographer on this film, he's Jet Li's one of Jet Li's best friends. Worked on a lot of Jet Li's films, except Born to Defense. And I guess he wanted to make it up to Statham, so they went. They said, "Let's do this movie together," and stuff. And the director wanted a more down and dirty, realistic, fighting type of movie. He didn't want, because the writers Lee Anthony Smith and Gregory J. Bradley, they had more like a better climax with evolving technique and stuff like that. But the director didn't want that, so there was a lot of bad blood between both of them, between the three of them, I guess, amongst the three of them and stuff. And I know Matt would love to hear this, that Jet Li himself hates this film. And I'm going to read you exactly what the interviewer said, that he said on, I believe, on an interview for this film. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, Jet Li stated in many interviews that he was not happy with this film, and with this film nor its production. He went as far to say that this movie sucked. He had no confidence in director Philip Atwell, Even halfway into filming, he knew that it would receive mediocre ratings and not make a profit, which he predicted the right. Well, he predicted it right because the movie's budget was 25 million, I believe, and it only made 22, so it flopped. But I'll explain the plot of the story and everything like that. Maybe I will give some stuff away. I remember when I reviewed this movie on my older account, I think in my first account I reviewed this film, really nobody gave a shit about the film, I think. I think maybe it was one or two comments. You know, people, I mean, everybody has their own taste. I know after this review, probably no one's going to say anything or whatever. I mean, I know everybody's is cool about. I mean, they're not gonna hate on me just for liking one movie or whatever. You know, we all are different when it comes to movies, and I respect their opinion. They respect mine. So I'm among friends. I know that. Even one of my buddies out there, Matt, I know on that Big BS cast, he gave his feelings why he hates this film, and he's entitled to his opinion. That's cool. You know, it's the God-given right. It's just like when Matt talked about Sucker Punch and he mentioned something about this fucking maricon who on YouTube's asshole named Wade Major. For when he did a rant on Sucker Punch, he basically insulted 15-year-old kids, ruining the country for this and that. And that's just immature and childish, and you know, real dick face of him to do that and everything like that. You know, Wade Majors and stuff. You know, at least Matt, me, or any of the other us out there when we review films, we always put out the disclaimer out there and say, look, if you love this film or stuff like that, it's cool. Even I admit in the past, like when we did the BS cast horror films we hate, and I was very harsh on I Spit on Your Grave movie. But okay, so be it. There's a fan base out there for it. I mean, if they enjoy that film, well, power to them, you know what I mean. Part of me doesn't really want to say that because of the content the movie has, but the words of a wise man, you know, every movie has a fan and a hater. So that's the name of the game, fortunately. And you know, I'll explain what the plot is of this film. Maybe I'll drop some spoilers in there because I figured people will see it, either see the twist and they'll get mad or whatever. But I'll let you know ahead of time in case you do want to take the risk and stuff, and you know, then you won't be that surprised. So if you guys want to see it or not. The movie opens up where we have Jason Statham, who plays FBI agent John Crawford, and he's there with the opening credits. He's smoking a cigarette, talking to his partner. His actor name, this guy named Tom Lone, who's played by Terry Chen, and they're having a dialogue there about you know. So he counts how many guys there? Yeah, I know he loses, but a shit of two years of undercover work blown. Okay, well let's go and take a look. So you take a look and they realize a shootout has broke out on this area where his docks is at, where his pier is at, and they see that somebody has killed a lot of the gangsters there. This contract killer who's kind of a spook, you know, a legend or whatever. This guy named Rogue. And I like the way that the action scenes are filmed in this film. The camera's in one fucking spot. When people get shot or cut with a blade, it's blood squibs. Fight scenes are well handled when they're there. And Rogue gets the drop on John Crawford, Jason Statham's character, is about to kill him. We don't see his face; he's in shadows. And Statham's partner shoots him in his face. He falls to the river, to the lake, to the river, whatever. And I guess Rogue comes back and pretty much kills Tom Lone and his wife and baby daughter. And then there's an explosion at his house. By the time Jason Statham gets there with his family, because they're about to have a barbecue or something, he's injured because he was shot in the arm, so he's in a brace. And the reaction on his face, I mean, Jason Statham did a good job acting-wise. and he looks around. He finds this bullet, the special bullet that Rogue uses. It's kind of like his calling card, and he swears vengeance on him. 3 years pass. Now we're in San Francisco, in in a little part of Los Angeles where the Yakuza district is at. And I like the way it's filmed, the sequence here, and there's a lot of good shots what the director did, in which we're introduced to Rogue, Jet Li, and he walks into the club, and there's a Japanese club, a lot of half-naked women running around and stuff, and strippers and everything like that. And the lights are all over him, you know, like the strobe lights. I like a good introduction. Kind of remind me of the Replacement Killers, you know, when Chow Yun-fat walked into the room like that. Kind of reminded me of that. And he's about to go kill these other Yakuza guys. Very good sequence where Jet Li's about to enter the room, and he sees this woman running out of the room where the Yakuza guys are hanging out, have all the tattoos and shit. And I guess they must have raped her or something like that. She's just running out crying. Jet Li stops. He has a mean face. He looks, and he looks at them. And he starts shooting a couple of them. We don't see him. They sick dogs on him. He fucks up one dog we see off camera. And he has the dog come back, and on the collar, he puts a detonator on it and fucks them all up. And John Crawford comes to play. He's part of the FBI, like I said, a special task force that deals with Asian organized crime. And he's a cop pretty much on a mission, maverick, with no rules. It's a sequence there with one of the Yakuza guys. He's badly injured with shrapnel on his arm. He puts rubber gloves on. He goes, "When I'm not a cop and I got nothing to do, I play doctor. Let me see if I can get the shrapnel." So he starts fucking with the guy's wound. Ah! Oh, wait a minute, that's not a shrapnel, it's a bone. Tell me what I want. Let me be a cop. I'm going to continue playing doctor. He's done that in Japanese, which is cool. So, you have that going on there. Same time, we have Jet Li as Rogue. He's working with Triads. The guy who's running the Triads is John Lone. You guys remember from The Shadow and Year of the Dragon. And I know he was the bad guy in Rush Hour 2 as well. Decent actor, not too shabby. And basically what it is, the reason the Yakuza and the Triads are fighting each other, because some years ago, I believe there was these emblems, or these gold horses, I guess, like these statues that were part of the Chinese, the Triads family. Chang's, that's the name of the character, Chang's family. And the Japanese, the Yakuza, had murdered John Lone's parents and his family and stole those trinkets, those antiques. So since then, there's been war with each other over that. And Jet Li is basically pulling a Last Man Standing. I know a good friend of mine loves Last Man Standing. I haven't seen it in years, but to me, it's the same deal. I mean, Jet Li's character Rogue, he's basically playing games, you know, pulling these two factions against each other and everything like that. The score by the film is done by Brian Tyler, who did the score for Rambo 4 and Battle Los Angeles and Expendables, of course. Decent score, not too shabby. And Jason Statham's character, Crawford, is obsessed, and he wants to get his hands on Rogue because he feels Rogue murdered his partner's family, and he's driven by a lot. And you learn to the end of the movie why he's so driven. And like that. To the point that his marriage fell apart, doing his obsession, trying to get his hands on Rogue and stuff. Because now he's divorced, he's a weekend father, but he's focusing a lot of time on this case. We've seen that before in a lot of films. I know this. So, all else happens, and